Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and I'm excited to bring you another review. Today, we will be taking a look at, from the G.I. Joe Collectors Club Figure Subscription Service 1.0, the bonus 13th figure, Blackout. I guess you can say this is in honor of the latest episode, at least at this recording, of that metal show where the Scorpions announced that they're not retiring. And if you get the connection, good for you. This was actually kind of a fun figure for me because if you listen to the What's on Joe Mind podcast, we were hypothesizing before the release of the figure subscription service what this bonus 13th figure would be. And I had just guessed, based on the inclusion of Barrel Roll, that it would be his brother, Blackout. I was always fascinated by the story about the dueling snipers, brothers. I don't know if you remember the movie Enemy at the Gates. I kind of got that feeling from the story, also with the inclusion of their sister in the middle. This guy has a really interesting file card. Obviously, he is crazy. I mean, let's get out of that. But it's also, this isn't someone who had the gift of perfect shot. This is someone who basically practiced and became perfect. He has this attitude that if you play all the notes in the right way at the right time, you make great music, that there's no talent or art involved. It really is very deep. But let's take a look at the figure itself. Allow me to first say, right off the bat, this sniper rifle is very difficult to get into his hands. That is even including the fact that he does have separated trigger fingers on both hands. And a lot of that is due to the fact that the grip is actually closed off. You have right here. I mean, it's a very nice looking rifle, and maybe if the hand was opened in a more neutral C position, it would be a little easier, but I did have a dickens of a time getting it in. But as you can see, unlike Barrel Roll, there was a lot of easier time getting him into sniper poses and what have you. Now, the build of this figure is basically, for the most part, taken exclusively from the G.I. Joe Resolute Cobra 7-pack with Zartan. I don't know if you remember that. It was like a Big Bad Toy Store online exclusive, which was a great figure and a great interpretation of Zartan. So that's where a lot of this body armor comes on. And it actually fits, because if you're familiar with, I think, the version 2 of Blackout and the direct-to-consumer version of Blackout, he had a look just like this. A lot of that layered armor and stuff. The head is new. Now, I can't, because it's been a while, I can't remember if this was just scaled up or retooled from the original figure, or this is an all-new head. The goggles are removable. I just popped them on because that was kind of cool, but we'll get into the other accessories later. So, yeah, I mean, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to come in for a closer detailed look, and then I'll go through the articulation. Okay. So as I mentioned, this figure comes basically from Resolute Zartan. Great silver body armor. You have the painted Cobra logos, backpack hole in the back. The armor has some great molded web gear, pouches and stuff. No side holster for his sidearm, but we'll get to that in a minute. Now there is just one thing, and I want to just try to set the figure up here. To me, and I don't know if it's really showing up on camera, it kind of looks like there's a general slant to the figure. From the neck is at an angle, so his head's a little off, and the body and the torso is just a little. I mean, it's just a little off. I mean, it's nothing glaringly bad, but it's just enough that you can notice it. Again, maybe it's just me. But anyway, the head is on a very expressive ball joint. You can get, that side-to-side movement, and, hey, what's up, man? Hey, why don't you love me? You never loved me like our brother. No. Universal joints in the shoulders. Great range of movement. These shoulder pads really don't get in the way. 90-degree bend at the elbow. Rotation at the bicep. rotation at the wrist, none of the enhanced wrist articulation, which is kind of disappointing for a sniper. For waist articulation, you can rotate. The armor does unfortunately block any real ab crunch, but he can bend at the waist right here. That's due to the ball joints. Yeah, take them off the stands. We can get to the knees, and you have double jointed knees that give you a fairly reasonable amount of bend. And coming down to the ankles, you of course have the forward and back and side to side rotation. No ankle pivot, as this mold really didn't have it beforehand. So yeah, I really do dig the figure. I mean, I dig this nice tech robotic type sniper look, but I showed you the sniper rifle. Now let's take a look at the other accessories it comes with. Okay, before we begin, allow me to issue a Gary Gatto approved pre-lost warning on some of these accessories. Namely, right here, he comes with Lowlight's bullet rack with the removable bullet, which is why it's staying taped into the packaging. I never lost Lowlights, and I want to keep my record going. He also has Lowlight's range tracker. That's what snipers use to judge distance and what have you. He does, like I said, he does come with this great Resolute style handgun, which he had a holster for it, and a little phone. Unfortunately, because of the body mold, there's really no way to carry these, and he doesn't have a backpack that he can, like Lowlight did, he can throw the stuff into. So I'm just going to leave him here on the card since, really, it's a sniper, and that's basically all he'll be using is his, sniper rifle. So yeah, so let's get to my final thoughts. If you would have told me I would have been able to get Blackout at some point after the release of Figure Subscription Service 1.0, I would have told you you're nuts. Because of the fact it was the subscription bonus figure, a gift figure, however you want to look at it, that really meant that it was going to shoot up in value. And while generally it is the most expensive figure from the Figure Subscription Service 1.0, it can be found for reasonable prices if you look around. I have to say, I got this off of Amazon from Past Generation Toys as the secondary seller, and after a partial refund because the packaging came damaged, I got it for well under $20. Yeah, I know. I also had some gift cards involved, but yeah, maybe so. There's a wide spread in terms of price, and I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you're looking for this figure and want to buy it, pay what you're comfortable with. Shop around, look around, try to make deals, because the worst feeling in the world, and I know this from recent experience, is paying 2 or 3 times as much for a figure and then finding it at retail or for a cheaper price. But this is a solid figure, and if you have a different, sniper rifle laying around, you might have an easier time getting one to pose in his hand. So it's your pal Chuck for Blackout. We'll see you next time.